you at home, Runt?
My character is called Flesh Lump Eater.
I think that's what's cool about this movie is you'll have these digital characters that we're all creating, and you're just gonna believe there's giants.
BFG meets his match when he meets Sophie. Sophie's an orphan, and in a sense, so is BFG. You know, what his brothers do turn BFG into an outcast. And BFG, has a peaceful heart, and he has a deep soul, and he doesn't do that. He's never done that. He never will do that.
What's in those jars?
Dreams.
Dreams aren't things.
I somehow saw in Mark that he could do anything, and he had such, profound range as an actor. And after the first day, I realized I had found my BFG. And the Mark between shots was the BFG that really touched my heart.
My character, he's 54 feet high, massive pile of muscles. There's not much of a brain, and he's like a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
I eats only beans.
Yeah.
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 That's what BFG describes as a cannibal.
Skitter scatter, boys. Find me the chiller.
Eats humans, especially children, finds them especially delicious. He's a bully, a coward, like many bullies, and an idiot.
I has a boo-boo.
I got the call directly from Steven. It was insane. I was driving in my car. He called and just said, I'm doing this movie, the BFG, and he said, there's these giants, and I would love for you to be one. We already have Jermaine as Flesh Lump Eater, and then he's like, but there's this guy, Blood Bottler, and that Flesh Lump Eater's a brawn, and you're kind of the brains of this, of these giants. And I said, yeah, that'd be yes, sure, of course, You're Steven Spielberg.
Being able to escape into the world of dreams and imaginations and no rules, that's a dream in itself.
I catch dreams.
One of the roles of production design is to create spaces and environments and places that invoke something about not only the storyline and the characters, but maybe about the themes of the movie, and if you're really fortunate, maybe even the spirit of the place that you're going to.
That's where you is, enjoying country now.
It'll be a big challenge to see whether the technology can deliver me, a mocap character, to be as real and believable as this very vital young girl, Sophie, that Ruby's playing. Whether, that's the love story, the friendship that's at the heart of the film.
Janusz has so much value on set, right? Beyond just being the world's most brilliant, cinematographer. He just brings an air to the set that's sublime to be around. He's a very positive force of energy. But beyond that, he's also just a master craftsman.
For that particular scene where Mark is playing the BFG in the Dream Cavern, he is going to be on that set that you see behind me. It's been scaled down so that it's proportional to Mark's height as a giant. So he will be a normal size actor on a set where everything has been shrunk down.
Is that right?
Technology doesn't scare Steven. He in some ways, he pushes us more than we push ourselves. I mean, he's a driving force, and he doesn't back away from the technology. He doesn't just sort of like shy away from it and say, all right, just make it work and I'll figure it out later. He's the first one to pick up the virtual camera and start laying virtual cameras onto shots, and Steven's embraced all of that.
The way we're making BFG is for us a new way of doing things. Simulcam was an idea, and the idea there was that we would pre-record a performance and then be able to play it back through the camera monitor so that the camera operators could actually see the virtual performance unfolding in real time as they're photographing the live action scene.
So what you see is Steven walking on set, and he'll go and talk to Sophie, and then he'll talk to Mark up on the tower. But what you see on the monitor is Steven talking to the BFG, and the BFG looking down to Steven and nodding, yeah, I'll do that, yeah.
I got a call from Steven about him wanting to do his next movie. And he said it's based upon this book by Roald Dahl, BFG, Big Friendly Giant. I realized this was an opportunity for Steven to go right to the heart of a story and mine that heart.
It's a really lovely thing to be a part of, because as I'm speaking to you now, it feels like we're shooting a little short film set in Buckingham Palace.
We started talking about, well, how would dreams look manifest in a jar? How would you catch them with a butterfly net? And I started thinking about starlings and the way that they swirl, and then they could form something. So suddenly you can see that plate up on the walls. And actually within the cavern, he is sort of like the sorcerer. He's the alchemist BFG is when he's mixing these dreams.
That makes BFG special because it was my escape into what I think I kind of do best, which is just let my imagination run away with itself. And in that sense, this was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
I think that's what's cool about this movie is you'll have these digital characters that we're all creating with a practical element of the little girl and of the queen and all. There's real people playing those characters next to the BFG, and I think you're gonna see it's gonna be seamless. You're gonna forget that these are all digital characters. It's all gonna just, you're just gonna believe there's giants.
The BFG is one of Roald Dahl's best books, and it's certainly a book beloved the world around.
I was hearing all the secret whisperings of the world.
I was brought up with his books, and I was very, and I'd read the BFG as a child, and those books mean a lot to everybody who ever reads them. They become important parts of your childhood and a burgeoning imagination.
I was working on a film, and there were these two little boys in the film, and every day at lunch, I used to see them reading books. So I went over one day and said, "What are you guys reading?" And they started to talk to me about this book called the BFG, and I was just completely captivated by it. And almost immediately went and started to investigate whether the rights were available.
Where are you going?
To work.
What do you do for work?
Oh, now you's asking me to tell you whoopsie big secret.
He does invent words, and well, BFG invents words, which is a lovely idea.
Who's human being, and human being is like straw bunkles and cream to those giants out there, so you're gonna stay in a nice, safe place right here.
In fact, in BFG, often you don't really know exactly what a word means.
It's glummy.
But you understand what it means, you feel what it means from the sound of it, and I like that.
Someone called me the big friendly giant.
There's so much imagination and adventure. I love that Roald Dahl had chosen a girl protagonist. She's a hellfire.
Everything about you goes against all my better judgmentals, gal.
Well, I'm right about this one.
I think it's a story of friendship, really. It's heroic and charming, and it makes you cry and it makes you laugh, and it's just very heartwarming. It's classic.
There are many generations of children that have grown up with Roald Dahl, and he is an enormously iconic figure as far as children are concerned.
There's a small girl standing on the windowsill. Is there not, Mr. Tibbs?
Roald Dahl invented an entire lexicon for the BFG.
Oh, whoopsie splunkers.
BFG?
How absolutely squiffling.
And then Dahl was famous for scaring us, then in the same breath, making us smile.
Oh, Oh, that is the nicest present that anybody's ever given me.